I'm ready. Dev. Athens, Georgia. Athens, Georgia.
What are your keys to the game for?
Do what we did last time, get possessions up, but finish a little stronger. You know, we accomplished the goal of getting the possessions and getting the pace of the game going like we wanted, but we ran out of gas. Fourth quarter didn't finish very strongly. Try to do the things we did well and fix the things we didn't do as well. Georgia's obviously got a lot to play for. They're playing themselves into the NCAA tournament talk. Their head coach just had a baby. If y'all followed Joni, y'all know she and I are good friends. So we're happy for them, but we'll have to come down there and try to do what we need to do to win one on the road.
With her having her baby and her not being there, how do you think that affects their team?
I think they've got a lot of respect and love for her, so they'll play harder. I think they'll, you always wonder whether it'll go the other direction, but she's built such a good culture there. They'll play extremely hard. They'll do the things. They've got veteran leaders. Karen Lang's been around this league and this profession a long time. I don't anticipate there'll be anything other than positives. More energy than what they might have normally to play hard for in her absence.
They beat you on the glass pretty bad last time around. How do you adjust to change that this time?
Well, we got to get to some of the loose ball ones. I don't think we're going to get any of the ones that Kalai Robinson's going to get. We can't get there. But we did miss out on about 8 or 10 balls that were at 6 feet. We got to get all of those to have a chance. They shot the ball really well against us last time too. So do a better job contesting so that there are more misses, but we've got to do a better job of getting those ones that are below the rim. I thought we did a good job on their bigs. It was their guards, I thought, that made the difference in those areas. And those are balls that we can get just by going after more often than what we did.
Were you surprised at Kiara's game Sunday?
Sure. We all were, including her. I mean, she came out, she said, it's good to be back. She's been struggling. We all go through those, and every kid goes through it. Hers has been for about a 5 or 6 game span. It just makes me sick that we wasted it and not got a win out of it, because she was incredible. She had a game like that last year at Vanderbilt. We know it's there. So, yeah, we were all surprised, but not shocked. I mean, we've seen it in practice. We've seen it happen before, but it hadn't been happening as of late. So hopefully it's a good sign.
So Georgia was kind of on a skid before the first time you guys played. You guys were on a win streak, and then the tables kind of turned. Do you think that this is a game where you guys can get back on track?
A lot of that has to do with who you've been playing and where. They were in the tough part of their schedule. We were in the easier part of ours. So I think they have gotten some momentum. And I think as a result, what you're starting to see is some talk about them in the NCAA tournament. I watched their game against Ole Miss the other night, and there was extensive talk about what they needed to do to get into the NCAA tournament. And, this was a team I think was picked 3rd or 4th in the league in the preseason. You might have to go back and double-check that, but they were picked really high. So I know their full attention is on the NCAA tournament. I don't anticipate they'll be doing anything other than looking at an opportunity to get a win. For us, we knew what was coming. We are self-aware enough to know that 7-game stretch that we had after starting 5-2 was going to be incredibly difficult. And winning at Georgia is no easy task. But it is a game that we've got a lot of positive film to show. We're getting ready to watch film here as soon as this is over. And you can show positive clips of what we did for about 3.5 quarters against them the last time and make some adjustments on what we need to be doing to try to finish it.
Sorry.
Through this little losing streak, what have you done off the court to maybe make some changes in the mental aspect?
Just continuing to show the progress. I don't know that we're playing any worse than – I think we're playing as good as we were playing in some of those wins. I mean, we're just honestly playing better teams. I don't know any other way to say it. You're playing every time you look up, the team's ranked or they're picked at the top of the league, and I think the teams are better. Our efficiency numbers are fine. We've continued to try to stick to the process rather than results. And to do that, you have to show it. And it's easy to see. When you watch the film and we're right there, and the one good thing is we've found new ways to lose, I guess. We haven't been making the exact same mistakes. So I think that continues to show growth, but I think we're continuing to accentuate what we're doing off the court with the film, with the way we're looking at it, and the way we're talking about it and the way we're practicing. Still trying to play our best basketball in March, and I think our efficiency numbers are good. Our lineups look good. It's just we're playing teams that are a little further along than us with their programs.
Atiana got in the game for, I think it was like 3 minutes
last
time. What's her status right now?
She's getting better and better every day. She made a move to the basket. It didn't look natural, and I was just worried that as a coach, you worry always when a kid's coming off an injury that maybe you've tried to rush them back too fast. And I want to make sure we hadn't done that. And then the other part of this was the function of the game was it's the slowest game we played all year. We played 64 possessions. And we've been playing 84. So nobody was tired. Mal wasn't tired. Chelsea wasn't tired. Those kids weren't tired down the stretch. So I never went back to her, but it's not a reflection of how far along she's come. We need her for more minutes at Georgia because of her toughness. But she had a really good day in practice yesterday, so I'd anticipate those numbers to continue to climb. But part of that, when that last game, was a product of the pace of the game. All right. Yep.
I don't think we're going to get you again until Sunday. So
sure.
Your seniors and senior day on Sunday, what do they mean?
Well, they're going to be the people that are always remembered as the kind of the foundation for whatever we become. I'd love to be able to predict for them what it's going to be, but they're going to be remembered. We have some things we do around our program, and there's no doubt they're going to be remembered. Maybe leave a legacy if we end up getting this thing going the right direction. For them to have stuck with us, that's the way that I look at it for Mal specifically and Bailey, because they were here. Raven came to us as one of our kids after the transition. But for Mal and Bailey to stick around, you probably can't adequately put words into it, because it just means that they, much like Dev standing there, they bought in, they believed in, and they'll always be the foundation. I think Mal's career arc, when you look at what she's done the last 2 years, if you would maybe project out what it would have been like if we played this style when she was a freshman and a sophomore, I think she'd be in the conversation for one of the all-time greats. So you're trying to keep all that in perspective. And then, Bailey is that kid that if all you do is look at a bunch of stats, you're probably never going to understand the impact. Her lineups, the things that she does that there's not a stat for, the stuff she does off the court. I can tell you this, she's the only kid I've ever got a framed picture of a speech that she gave. She gave a speech at the senior banquet that was unbelievable. We made a frame out of it. It'll be hanging in our offices, in our locker room for as long as we're here. Then Raven coming in was one of the first kids to say yes to us as a new staff. And the stuff that she's done, the impact she's had on and off the court. I really wish that shot the other night that tied the game could have ended up being in a win, because that's certainly something that she has brought to us. And then, we're going to honor Kieran as well, that medically redshirted, another kid that stuck it out and just had injuries that kept her from being able to be on the floor with us throughout the games this year. But we always do them after the game. I don't know if I like to do them after the game. There's so much emotion if you do it before the game. So it'll be a great day on Sunday. And we'll also honor a graduate student, our graduate manager, or not, graduate assistant, Jalen Powell as well. So.
Any more questions for Coach? Thank you.
I can talk about Ole Miss too if y'all don't want. Did Jerry tell y'all that? Did she tell y'all that I'm okay? I'm always okay if y'all don't want to do one on. Is that what she told y'all? So, yeah, if you've got something that you need on Ole Miss, I don't mind talking about them to keep y'all from having to come back on. You want to do that? Yeah. Go. I mean, it's obviously – okay, if we won or lost, I know how that goes. But how are you coming off the win? It's like we're going to shoot 2 takes. It's regarded – y'all know me well enough to know it's going to be the same whether we won or lost. It's going to be a big game because it's one of those teams that's around us. That just has a different feel, and I don't think not talking about it makes any sense. If we can win one of these next 2 games, we will guarantee ourselves not having to play on Wednesday of the SEC tournament. which is something we talked about at the beginning of the year. It's been in that play-in game a couple years in a row, having to leave early. It is the tournament, but it doesn't quite feel like the tournament. So if we can win one of these next 2 games, whether that's Georgia and or Ole Miss, we'll guarantee ourselves not having to do that. So it'll have big implications. They're playing for that same thing. They've got 3 conference wins. I think they play Mississippi State tonight, so a good chance they'll come in here the same way. But they'll be playing for a lot too, because they're trying to get out of that game too. After being picked dead last, they're using that as motivation. We played really well over there the last time, and I know they feel like they didn't. So it could potentially have a postseason atmosphere feel for both of us on Sunday.
Just kind of explain what you learned so far this season about Ole Miss.
Well, that they continue to be you can't watch them on film and tell that they're not winning. They play incredibly hard. They play a variety of lineups. She's obviously built a culture that if you don't work hard in practice, you're not going to play in games, because her kids play incredibly hard. They've got 2 potential All-SEC. Chandrika Session was preseason All-SEC, and Crystal Allen's having an All-SEC season, so they can hurt you. They've got 2 big kids that we always struggle against size-wise. So they've got a formula that if they continue to do what they have shown the first 8 weeks of this season, or 7 weeks of the season, they'll look like an 11-3 team coming in here. That's just how they approach it. That's the energy that Coach Yo brings to them, that first-year belief and the first-year buy-in they've got going, and have kept it going all the way through the SEC season.
Questions?
2 press conferences in one.
Thanks.
That's how we do it.